Hi, this is Kevin at the Virtual Planetarium at Raritan Valley Community College. Welcome to our weekly Star Talk. Today we're going to be talking about our Milky Way Galaxy and how we can find it during these summer months in the sky. But before we do that, let's talk about our moon. We have first quarter moon on July 17th. The next full moon is going to be on July 24th, and then we have a last quarter moon on the last day of the month, July 31st. Now, like I said, we're going to be talking about our Milky Way Galaxy and how we can find it in the sky during these summer months. But before we do that, I want to tell you all about something really cool that's going to be happening on Tuesday, July 13th. And on this day, July 13th, if you go outside shortly after sunset, but before it gets completely dark, and you look towards the west, right now we have the sky set up for about 8:40 at night, very close to the horizon, you're going to see two very bright dots. And these are two planets we've actually talked about before. The very bright one is Venus, and then the one right next to it, very close to it below it, is Mars. So these two planets are going to be in conjunction in the sky, so that's going to be pretty cool to see. Again, this is going to be happening on July 13th, just after sunset, but before it gets completely dark. And they're going to be very close to the horizon, so you have to find a place where you have a clear view of the western horizon so you can see these two planets. Also, besides these planets being up in the sky, we're going to have a beautiful waxing crescent moon right next to them, so this should make for a very nice view in the sky, so you should definitely try to catch this. Okay, but like I said, we're going to be talking about our Milky Way Galaxy today and how we could find it in the sky. And to do that, we're actually going to use the stars that we found last week. So if you remember last week, we found the summer triangle in the sky. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to put the link for that in the description. But the summer triangle is made up of these three very bright stars. Deneb over here, we have Vega up here, and then Altair down here. These three stars belong to their own separate constellation, and Deneb right here is the one we're going to focus on today. Deneb belongs to the constellation of Cygnus the Swan, and last week we mentioned how the swan looks like it's flying in the sky, and it's flying along this hazy patch in the sky, aiming towards this bright part right here. Now this hazy patch we see here is our Milky Way Galaxy. So if you can find the summer triangle, which is very easy to spot because of these three very bright stars, you can find Deneb up here in the top left corner, and if you make out the rest of the constellation of Cygnus the Swan, you can find the direction it's flying in and use that to find the rest of the Milky Way Galaxy. Now, the Milky Way Galaxy is not something you can see from the city. You actually have to go to somewhere that's decently dark, so you can see the stars very well and see the sky without a lot of light pollution. But once you are in a semi-dark place, it's actually very easy to point out. A lot of people confuse it with a cloud because it just looks like a hazy patch in the sky, but it is our Milky Way Galaxy. Now, this very bright patch over here that Cygnus is pointing to is actually the very center of our galaxy. And I want to talk about that a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to look south. And if we face completely south, we see another constellation we've talked about before, and that is the constellation of Scorpius. Now, Scorpius is fairly easy to find because it's directly over the south. We have the sky set up for about 10 o'clock at night, but it also has this very bright red star at the very center right here called Antares. And we talked about that in another video as well, which I'm going to put in the description for you as well. Now, just to the left of Scorpius is where we have this very bright patch, and again, this is the very center of our Milky Way Galaxy. Now, if you have a pair of binoculars, it doesn't have to be a big pair of binoculars, it can be just some bird watching binoculars. You can point them at this part of the sky, and you're going to find many different things. Now, there's a lot of very cool things to see in this part of the sky. We have nebulas, we have open clusters, we have globular clusters, so if you point your binoculars anywhere in this part of the sky, you're going to be able to see a vast collection of different cool space stuff. So you should definitely try and do that. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Hope you learned something new, and hope you try to go outside and find the Milky Way Galaxy. Again, if you find the summer triangle and find Deneb, you can use that constellation to see the path that the Milky Way takes in the sky. But an even easier route is to find Antares and to find Scorpius, and just to the left of it is that fuzzy patch. Again, you have to be in a dark place to be able to see it. You won't be able to see it from the city, but it still is fairly easy to spot in the sky. Thank you so much for joining us and hope you have a great week.